Crazy Nights is my least favorite Kiss record of anything they've ever done studio-wise. It's too it's straightforward pop, and that's what I don't like about it. The keyboards, the poppier songs, and the writing from Paul especially. Gene is very he's not shown very well on this album. The only good song that I really like as the only song that is as good of a quality, not even quite as good of a quality as the old material, is Thief in the Night. You have to wait through the entire album for the last song to get an actually good song. Carnival of Souls is my second least favorite Kiss album, mainly because I can't get into the whole grunge thing. The first song is very good. I like it. Some of the songs are okay. I don't like a lot of it, though. It falls kind of flat. It almost feels like every song on the album is the same. That's how I feel about grunge, is that you listen to multiple grunge artists and multiple grunge albums, and it all kind of sounds the same. It's just sort of angry, and I really don't like it that much. Hot in the Shade is an okay album. It's not that good. There's a couple good songs on it. The first couple songs are pretty good, but as you get farther into the album, you get a lot more filler tracks. You could tell that Kiss said, "Oh, look at this. This CD can fit 70, 80 minutes of music. We're going to use all of it, so let's put 15 basically touched up demos on this album, put it out, and everybody's going to love it." Well, that isn't the case. The first couple songs are good. Boomerang at the end of the album is good. Little Caesars at the end of the album is pretty good. But other than that, everything in between is just a mishmash of demos and filler songs that I don't like that much. A little backstory as I go into this one. Sonic Boom was the first album that came out by Kiss during my lifetime. When I was born in 1999, so it was a year after Psycho Circus came out. I grew up listening to the old stuff. Destroyer I had on cassette since I was little. I grew up with the old stuff, with all the old greatest hits my dad had gotten on CD when BMG was still very big. So, getting this album and listening to it was a major letdown for me in terms of music. Modern Day Delilah is a very good song. Some of the Gene songs are good, but overall, it's trying to recreate the old stuff. Comparing this album to, say, something like Psycho Circus, they both tried to do the same thing. I think Psycho Circus pulled it off a lot better than Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom just overall falls pretty flat for me. Animalize is the first Kiss album in their history that I can really say anything that bad about. Other than Unmasked, this is the first album in the chronology of Kiss that I really don't like that much. Animalize, it's too unfocused. There's a lack of a straightforward energy. It's a mishmash of songs that really don't fit together. Gene probably has some of the best songs on the album, even though Paul Stanley says that he wasn't even in the process that much. I still think he has some of the better songs on the album. Unmasked is probably my least favorite of the original Makeup era records. It is very poppy. I think a lot of the album is very good. Some of the songs are not quite as good. The Gene songs are not very good. Paul and Ace ruled this album. Ace's songs are pretty good. Paul's songs are very good. Altogether, it's sort of a mishmash of an album, and that's what makes it not as good as all the albums that came before it. Revenge is definitely the most overrated Kiss album of all time. I'm a pretty big fan of it. I like it a lot, but it is not as big as everyone thought it would be. It is definitely the best album that Kiss had done since Lick It Up. There's no doubt about that. Everything between Lick It Up and Revenge was pretty bad. Revenge was sort of a return to form for Kiss, return to the heaviness of Lick It Up. It sort of falls flat, though. I like some of the songs, but the writing is pretty bad. The instrumentation is very good. I like how the band was playing together, but the songs aren't that good in general. I think Asylum is a really good album. It's a very high-spirited album that has a lot of good Paul songs. He's trying to show that he can be heavy with stuff like I'm Alive and King of the Mountain. I think that the first side of this album is very good. The second side starts to lose me with some of the Paul songs on the second side aren't that good. I'm not a big fan of Radar for Love. I like All Night, and I like Tears Are Falling. Secretly Cruel is okay, and I really don't like the other Gene song on the second side of the album. I can't remember what it's called right now for some reason. Dressed to Kill is my least favorite of the original three Kiss albums predating Alive. To me, it's too short. The songs are a lot more poppy than the first two albums. I think the first two albums were more dark than this one. It feels like it's rushed, although it has a lot of good songs on it. Some of my favorite songs, She, Rock Bottom, Love Her All I Can, are on this album, so it's not a bad album. I don't think any of the first 10 Kiss albums are bad. Psycho Circus is probably my favorite album Kiss did since Lick It Up. I know a lot of people don't like it very much. There is only two songs on this album that I don't like, and that is I Finally Found My Way and Journey of a Thousand Years. Journey of a Thousand Years is okay. I Finally Found My Way I really can't get into, but all the other songs, the anthemic songs, Dreamin', I Pledge Allegiance, this title track, are all very good. All those Paul anthems are good. The Gene songs on this album, minus Journey of a Thousand Years, are really good. The Ace song is very good, including In Your Face, the bonus track I love. This album overall is just a very, very rocking, heavy album, and I like it. I don't care that the original lineup didn't play that much on it, but I just like this album overall as the return of Kiss. The first Kiss album I like a lot. It's just, I don't think they're as good as they are on Alive. Alive bypasses every song on the first three albums. They sound so much better on Alive. The Elder has the reputation of probably being one of the worst Kiss albums of all time, but I think it is a very underrated album. Not quite as underrated as Dynasty, because I like Dynasty more, but I still love The Elder. This is a great album I can listen to almost any time I listen. I can listen to it full through without skipping any tracks. That's what I like about the Kiss albums, the first 11 or 12 Kiss albums, is that I can go through and listen to them without skipping any tracks. This album included. I love the story flow of the first side, and then when it starts getting rockier in the second side with Dark Light and The Oath, it's just a great album. Monster to me is a lot better of an album than Sonic Boom is. I got Monster the day it came out. I listened to it in my car on the way home from getting it. From the first listen, I could tell that it was going to be a lot better of an album than Sonic Boom. A lot more gritty, a lot more hard rocking. The songs overall are a lot more well written. Sonic Boom to me was an anthem album. It was all about just, we're Kiss, listen to us, you bought our albums in the past, we spent 11 years writing this crap. Then, 3 years later, they come out with an album so much better that I started wondering, where was this album 3 years ago for my first Kiss album? Lick It Up is very much of a sister record to Creatures of the Night. I love both of them together. They both emote the same high energy and raw power that I love about Kiss. From the title track all the way through to the last song, and on the 8th Day, Gene has some amazing songs on this album. Paul has some amazing songs on this album. I can't get into the title track very much, nor Dance All Over Your Face. But other than that, this album is very hard-hitting, straight to the core, and it's just a great album. Dynasty is probably the most underrated Kiss album in the entire catalog. It's labeled as the disco album because of I Was Made for Loving You. People don't listen to this album because of that reputation. They think it's all going to be so pop-sounding and disco-sounding that they don't even give it a chance. But this album has some really, really good rocking songs, especially from Ace and from Gene. The Paul songs are poppy, but every song in this album is good. I like this album a lot. I like Destroyer a lot. I like it probably more than Dress to Kill. I probably like it more than the first Kiss album. I like how it's not straight ahead rock, they branch out more. The songs are a lot more diverse, and you get the different feelings of Kiss. Now, not as far as the solo albums, those were pretty bad altogether, besides Aces, but you get the different feelings of Kiss. I think Rock and Roll Over is probably the most straight ahead rock album that Kiss ever did. It goes back to the first album. It sounds a lot like the first album. Kiss was not happy with the way Destroyer turned out because the fans weren't happy with it. So they went back in the studio and made Rock and Roll Over, and I think it's a very, very good album with a lot of great rockers. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the Gene songs on the album. If I had to pick, the Gene songs would probably be my least favorite on the album. Hotter Than Hell is my favorite of the first three Kiss albums. I think it's dark and it's eerie and it sounds amazing. I like the way that they recorded it. The sound quality is really good. I know a lot of people complain that it's too gritty and dark, but I like that about it. The songs are a lot more branched out than they were on the first album. The first album and a couple of the songs on this album are, they go back the whole way to the first demos and the club days. This is when Kiss they branched out more. Love Gun is my favorite of the Alive 2 era albums, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun. Love Gun is very exciting and it's very powerful. Opens right out of the gate with I Stole Your Love, goes through to the end. I like every song on Love Gun. I could do without Got Love for Sale and Hooligan, but the rest of the album is amazing, even the last song. Creatures of the Night is my favorite Kiss album of all time. I love the heaviness, the raw energy and power from this album, right from the get-go with the title track, through Satan's Sinner, and all the songs following it, right up to the end with War Machine. This whole album, even I Still Love You, is heavy, hard, raw, and just emotes what people think of when they think of Kiss. They emote a very high energy album that is raw and it goes right to the core of heavy metal.